All right, folks, what is going on? Welcome to 458 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And today, we want to talk about the Falcons because I was looking at this win against the 49ers, and I've been looking at a few other games, just going back, looking at some clips, looking at some highlights, or whatever the case may be, listening to what the coaches and some of the guys saying at the press conference. Uh, this team is on an upward trend, and this is a team that nobody may want to deal with going down, later in the season. And looking at the schedule, they have like one of the easiest schedules on the in the league going forward. Now, I mean, I think I saw it somewhere on Twitter where it says they have the easiest schedule for the rest of the season. Now, the NFL is the NFL. It doesn't matter what the records say. And even though you may have the easiest schedule, they're still tough games. So we're going to look at all of this, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on. Even though the schedule is what it is, the Falcons are still just getting better. So we're going to talk about that and everything under that umbrella. If this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. I want to thank you guys for the support as of late. Covering at Georgia Southern, covering Atlanta Falcons, and watching both of these teams get better as the season go on. The Georgia Southern Eagles just done a phenomenal job of beating James Madison, and looking at the rest of their schedule, their schedule looks pretty good as that team starts to get better defensively. The Falcons, the rest of their schedule is looking very favorable to them with a few bumps in the road, but they're getting better as well. And once you look at what the Falcons are doing, it is really obvious that this coach and staff and, Coach Arthur Smith has done a really good job of getting these guys together. Year 2 of the Arthur Smith experience is really showing that what kind of identity this team should be. We was always looked at as a finesse team in the 2010s and the Super Bowl run, as well as those teams were, they played when they played at the highest level. They still was looked at a finesse team. Not anymore. This team looks more physical. They're pushing people around. They're taking away the football. They're making sure that they're getting in position to score points. The receivers look like they want to be successful. They don't want to just go out there and put up a bunch of numbers. They want to score points. They want to win football games. And you look at a guy like Kyle Pitts or even Zacchaeus or Drake London, you look at those guys and like, okay, these guys look like the type of guys that are going to go out there and put up some big numbers. Zacchaeus is a good route runner. Drake London could do a little bit of everything. And Kyle Pitts is just a unicorn that can, not only just could do everything, but do everything very well. So, but these guys are bought in to what this team is trying to do. And when you buy in and you see results like you saw with, I would say with every game that they played this season, you're going to start believing. You're going to understand the mistakes that was there or the missed opportunities that was there and start capitalizing on those opportunities. And then you will start seeing a dominant performance, even though like there's some guys for the 49ers that was banged up. Like I said, football is football. Don't matter who's on the other side of that line. You still need to put things together to win football games. And you got guys coming in believing, guys coming off the bench like Isaiah Oliver finally getting back into the swing of things, believing what this coach has put together. Because you got to understand, Zacchaeus, I think even Isaiah Oliver, those not necessarily Coach Arthur Smith guys. Those are guys that was picked up by, if I'm not mistaken, those guys were picked up by Dan Quinn. And they bought into this. That's when you know you have a really good coach, when you can get the guys that were here before you and get them to buy into what you're doing. So now you're going to see how well these Falcons are going to continue to limit the mistakes, or you're going to see them limit the things that they can do on the field, or as far as the things that are detrimental to the team. I think that's the wrong word to use, but you know what I mean. Things that are not productive, missing assignments or whatever the case may be. These guys are playing a little bit more sound and a little more disciplined to where you can see them beat an NFC team that a lot of people thought that were going to be, on the upper echelon of, the NFC, of the conference. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, how well they played them. And don't even want to get into what happened in that game once again. Even coming back against the Rams. The Rams were the defending Super Bowl champs. Now a lot of people saying, "Oh, these teams aren't that good." No, it's not. I don't think these teams are not that good. I think they're still just as talented as they were last year. It's just it comes a time where certain teams just get better, and when other teams get better, those teams that was at the top aren't going to look as good as they did. But make no mistake, these teams have the talent. People were just talking about the Buccaneers and how well, they're well coached and they got a good offense and defense, and you got players out there who can do things. The Buccaneers just lost to the Steelers. And it's not a knock on the Steelers, but you're supposed to be a better team than the Steelers. Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, really? You know what I'm saying? So it's when you look at those things, like you got teams that are on the come up that are being coached up to play well. And when you look at the Falcons, that's exactly what's happening here. Unfortunately, we got an injury with Hayward. He's going to be on the IR. But you got Hall coming in. Hall played pretty well. Good pass breakup in the game. And you just have to understand that it's about the players, but it's also a combination of coaching. There's one thing about football that I love. It is a conglomerate of good coaching, good coordinators, and good players. It's one thing I kind of got disinterested in other sports like basketball, for instance, and in some cases baseball too, because it's all about the players. Like with basketball, you just put players out there and try to make it happen. Yeah, the coach gets the credit, but we know who runs the show when it comes to the NBA. It's the players. And I don't knock it. I mean, it's okay, but it's just not my cup of tea. I just love to see when guys are orchestrated to make things happen through way of leadership, by way of, coach, coordinators, or whatever the case may be. I think it makes a big difference because when you have a coach that can lead men, and they put that product out there, and that product goes and do exactly what is needed to win a game, it just builds character collectively around the entire team. You could tell when things go wrong when a coach is not doing well and a coach is not leading people correctly. Carolina Panthers. You see how that goes. But when you have a coach that gets guys to buying in and guys that are willing to put things together, and even us at 3-3, you see what they're doing. You have to understand these 3 losses that they have was a combined of 4, 6. There was a combined of 10 points. One game you lost by 1, the other one lost by 4, and the other one you lost by 6. 1 or 2 plays, and literally with the Buccaneers game, 1 or 2 plays could swing that entire game around. The Rams game, 1 or 2 plays could swing that game around. Marcus Mariota's got a lot better with not turning the ball over, but you don't turn the ball over at the Rams and possibly score a touchdown there, we're winning that game. Same thing with the Saints. You don't fumble the ball, we're possibly winning that game, even though the defense, But that just goes back to what I'm saying. It's one of the reasons why I have this picture up here now. The defense, the way they played against the 49ers, if they played that way against the Saints week 1, we're winning that game handily. Because the Saints had no business being in that game. We were pushing that team around. And you had a team like this that plays defense like this against the 49ers, we win that game. The Rams, we showed up and played some good defense in that game, punched the ball out, got an interception, and we came back and it was almost about to win that game. And the Buccaneers, do I need to talk about that game again? But that's what I'm saying. Like the coaches, Dean Pease, Arthur Smith is getting these guys to buy in. Getting these guys to do something that they in some cases probably thought that they weren't necessarily capable of doing, or they probably didn't see the vision to do it. So now we're looking at the rest of the schedule. Going to the Bengals, they play the Panthers, play the Chargers, play the Panthers again. There's no reason for us to lose to the Panthers at all. I'm gonna be quite honest. There's no reason to lose to the Panthers. And you look at the other games, the Bengals and the Chargers. The Chargers may be the toughest game. I think the Bengals are good. Don't get me wrong, but I think we can get them at the line of scrimmage. I don't see that offensive line holding Joe Burrow up as long to make make efficient passes. The Chargers is going to be a problem. I mean, you got Justin Herbert. I mean, he's one of the top upcoming young quarterbacks, and the way that team plays, it's going to be tough. Even though we're playing at home, it's still going to be tough. But if we can come with a game plan like we did against the 49ers, I think we'll be okay. But there's no reason for us to lose to the Panthers. Not now. I don't see that. Not at all. We should beat the Panthers twice. And to be quite honest, we're going to be on a pretty good run. You look at the rest of the schedule. I don't want to get too far ahead. I'm just going 4 games at a time. You look at the Bears, the Commanders, the Steelers, the Saints again, the Ravens, Cardinals, Buccaneers at the end of the season. Like I said earlier, there's been a report side that we had like the easiest schedule for the rest of the season. It could be, you can make a case that we may lose maybe 2 more games. And like I said, I don't want to get too far ahead, but I'm just going to do 4 games at a time. I mean, you're looking at the Chargers, maybe the Ravens, maybe the Buccaneers. We may get swept by the Buccaneers, maybe. And that's a big maybe for the Buccaneers game because I don't know what type of team Tampa Bay is going to be looking like at the end of the season. I just have no idea. But I'm looking at the Chargers. I'm looking at the Ravens, maybe. I mean, I ain't going to say maybe. I think those are legitimate possibilities. But the rest of these teams, look, everybody, we may be looking at 11 and, we may be looking at a 12-5 season. Seriously. 11-6. Now, I'm not joking when I look at this. And I did say I like to take the thing 4 games at a time, but when I look at these teams, I'm like, wait a minute. The Falcons are really trending upward because of this. So I don't know. It kind of got me a little excited because even with the slight injuries, I think AJ Terrell has a thigh injury. Hayward is going to be out, probably going to need surgery. You got a few guys that are banged up. Cordell Patterson's supposed to be coming back, even though with the rushing attack. Quick thing on that. I think we're number 3 in the league in rushing, which is amazing. Kudos to the offensive line. I didn't think that the offensive line will hold up this well, let alone, being able to keep Mariota upright as well as run the ball. Whoever's the offensive line coach of this team, whoever he is, I mean, kudos. Because, I mean, the offensive line was, like, abysmal last year. And now we have one of the best in the league. This just goes back to good coaching, man. Like I said, when you have a coach that can coach these guys into believing in what they're capable of doing and watch them manifest it just creates it creates a good culture for the team. And that trickles out to the fans. And the fan base gets, a more of a level-headed situation or a level-headed thought process of what this team is about. Instead of fussing about expectations or fussing about what we should do, we're understanding what they can do. And when we know what they can do, we expect to see that. Not expecting what they should do, we should expect what they can do. And that may sound crazy, but it makes a big difference. It really does. So I'm really excited about this. Looking at the rest of this team going forward, we look like we're going to be in pretty good shape. Like we're going to be in really good shape. I really like what's going on here. This is pretty cool. Like all seriousness. I don't have anything else to say. You guys let me know. Is the Falcons trending upward? Let me know. If you like this commentary, hit the like button. Share this podcast. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Falcons, 3-3 right now. The next 4 games look like they can go once again 3-1. And you look at the rest of the schedule, this could be a situation where they may lose 3 games left for the rest of the season if they continue to play like they played against the 49ers. Nothing's guaranteed, and you still play NFL teams, and these guys are going to come to play every day. But when you look at the rest of their schedule, it looks very favorable for the Falcons. Kudos to Coach Arthur Smith, Dean Pease, and everyone else under that umbrella is doing a great job. I'm going to get up out of here. I got a lot of stuff to do. If you're not looking at this game room / studio, it is a mess in here. If you're watching on YouTube and Rumble, if you're on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts, you can go check out the visuals of this show. It's not the worst, but it is a mess in here, and I need to clean that up, and got some other things I need to be doing that's going to be trending or coming down the pipe, not only for this channel but my other channel as well. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all guys have a blessed Wednesday. Enjoy your day. The weekend's almost here. It's all downhill from here. All right, y'all take it easy. Y'all be blessed. Peace.